Boom, doing it. All right, welcome. Happy Monday night, you guys. Thank you for hopping on the team call. Oh, we've got all kinds of parts of geography represented tonight. I love it. We have all time zones in the house. Welcome, my name is Ellen, and I'm going to go over some real quick housekeeping sort of announcement stuff in the beginning, and then I'll dive into the heart of the call tonight. If you're a note taker, grab a pen. And without further ado, I wanted to thank all of you guys that kind of took some initiative and showed some leadership and either acted as captain on a team cup or just enrolled yourself in a team cup. Those of you guys that have that done, I think there's less than a day left to enroll. Thank you for doing that. It's very appreciated. I know these things can seem like silly or redundant since we already push for Success Club, but I just really believe that they're just a big deal. And it's something I definitely take notice of throughout the downline. And so thank you for that. We do have an Emerald push, and let's see, Lexi and Heather and any of you guys in Team Stronger Together, CJ's team, you guys are always welcome to jump in on those things. But it's a quick Emerald to Diamond push. I think we have Angela's redoing it. She's on the call. Missy is doing it, and Mark's on the call, or he was Mark's on the call, and he's doing it. So it's just a really small group of usually new Emeralds, but not always. Sometimes it's just an Emerald that wants to review and get sort of reinvigorated in that push to Diamond. So that's going on. That goes on every month. I do that at the end of every month. And then the next new coach training, all of you guys, you need to know always it starts the first Monday of every month. So that's February 6th. I know Jake has a couple new coaches coming on. And so rally your new coaches. It's basically it's how to lay the foundation in this business in 3 weeks. Let them know it's a lot of work. Let them know that it's $10. You guys can pay that for them or have them pay it. That's just to sort of incentivize them to complete it and to earn their first audiobook. So they get that money back if they finish it. Let's see. We also have, I can't read my handwriting, something about February. I don't know what it was, but we do have 2 happy hours coming up in February. And if you haven't done happy hours with us in the past, they're really casual, really laid back. You don't have to drink alcohol. You can if you want to. We don't care. They are business presentations led by myself and Jen Embers, who just moved to Minnesota tomorrow morning at 4:30 a.m. She's moving to Minnesota. And Jake and Nick. So it's really cool, the 4 of us, because we're really different and just everything in every way, from gender to geographical location to personality type. We're really different. And so to hear the business presented from 4 different people, the people you invite to it, they're going to be able to relate to one of us. So we have actually, to be honest, we've kind of slacked in offering those, but when we were offering them regularly once a month, we actually saw more growth on the team. And so we're gonna it's new year and we're bringing them back. So, ow, I just got clawed to smithereens. So be looking for those. There's one in the beginning of February. There's going to be one in the end of February. And you guys want to be inviting your challengers to them. You want to be inviting your business prospects to them. We'll make a public event that you can share, but it's really a super no pressure way for you to present the business in a way that is very non-threatening, very casual and light, and people can kind of be anonymous and just sit back and listen. Again, we had a lot of success with it. It's silly that we stopped. We had some really good ones and we recorded them. So we're just if anyone needs it now, we can just send them the recording. But that's not the same as being on live. So, all right, so that's kind of our headline news, sort of at a glance. Let's go ahead and get into the heart of the call. So I just remembered what my notes said about February. I just realized what my handwriting says. I'm going to come back to that at the end of the call. All right, so let's jump into the heart of the call. Have your pen and paper ready. many of you guys were on last week when Allie led our team call, and it was awesome. And I think we really appreciated what she had to say and the manner in which she said it was such a genuine spirit. It was beautiful. And I led her team call last week to kind of return the favor. And so this basically is what I prepared for her team. And so a lot of it you guys have heard from me before, and I think that's okay. You're going to hear sort of probably some things from me if you've been around for a long time that you've heard before, but maybe they'll resonate to you differently where you are in your business today. And also many of you are still new, like Dana and Ann, who are on this call. And so you might not even know these things that I find so important. And also I kind of started with introducing myself, of course, to her team because they don't know me. And then I was like, well, should I start with that with my team? I'm like, no, they all know me. I don't need to do that. But then I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe I should just introduce myself to you guys. So if you don't know me, or you're watching the replay and you don't know me, because the team is growing. And so, sometimes people comment in Team Play Hard and I'm like, whose coach is that? Who are they? So in case you're meeting me for the first time tonight, I'm going to start there. My name's Ellen, live in Oregon, and I joined the business because I was looking for a way to earn income without having a college education. Didn't graduate college, 3 kids, desperate financial situation. I knew I needed to contribute. And so it wasn't like, should I do this as a hobby? It was like, I desperately need this with all my life. I need a life raft. And so I always wanted to be home. I've always, even to this day, as busy as I am, I really, truly fancy myself a stay-at-home mom. With the exception of going to the gym and the grocery store and church, I'm a total homebody. So I wanted that. I wanted to work from home. I wanted flexibility. And so I was going to join another MLM. I was going to join an MLM that focused on skincare because I knew someone that I liked a lot, that was very successful, that actually worked with me at the gym. And so right before I signed on the dotted line with that skincare company, this is in 2012, I saw a post on Facebook from my upline. So I want you to start to extrapolate things out of what I'm saying. So I was not a Facebooker. I didn't even know when I got on Facebook that I would need to log out of my husband's account. I made that mistake a couple times. That's how little I knew about it. I didn't have a friend base to speak of at all. Total social media, not savvy. No, not at all. I was brand new to it. And I happened to go on one day and I happened to see a post. Now, listen, it was from someone that I respected and trusted, not just in fitness and health, but as a human being. It was someone that I knew lived a life of personal integrity. I'm bummed out that she's not on this call right now. It's my upline, Kelly Amos. She lives in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. You guys that are going to Provo are going to get to spend some quality time with her. She's an amazing woman, and she's an honest person. She is ridiculously knowledgeable about nutrition. I don't know anyone in my life that knows more about nutrition than that woman. And so when I saw that she was aligned with this company and that it dealt with health and fitness, I soon discovered, I was like, yeah, obviously this is it. And I am a person of faith. I had been praying for quite some time that God would deliver me from the mess I was in financially. And so I took this as an answer to prayer. And instead of joining a skincare company, which doesn't float my boat at all, I joined forces with Beachbody, which totally makes my soul sing. I mean, holy cow, I goosebumps head to toe today from looking at Jennifer Elliott's transformation. I mean, did you guys see her transformation? It's ridiculous. I have another client that lost 8 pounds in the last 2 weeks doing the 21-day fix. And she messaged me her results today. These things, whether I got paid for them or not, I would want to be a part of them. I would want to be invested into these things and with these kinds of people. So it just was the perfect fit. So I achieved Premier Coach in 2014 and then Elite Coach in 2015 and 16. If you don't know what those are, they're pretty hard to achieve. It's a pretty big deal, especially being Elite Coach. Because Kelly, my upline that I just raved about, we had different reasons going into the business, and I was looking for I needed this more than she needed it, and so I wanted to run at a faster pace. That I wanted to dive like more into it, delve more into it. So I was kind of a little bit running solo, and then the upline, her upline Donna, I wasn't really connected with. And then Holly, I wasn't really connected with at the time. And then above that is Christine Dwyer, who, doesn't have time for a peon like me. So I was sort of on my own, kind of figuring things out through the Coach Online office. From day one, I went through the Coach Online office, new coach training, Coach Basics. I put myself through that thing, which is impersonal and not as good as ours. And printed the certificate when I was done and sent it to Kelly. And so I was kind of on my own. And I'm saying that because I didn't know what Premier meant. No one was like mentoring me towards that, or no one had explained that to me. I had no idea. And I got a call. I was driving to a certification. I'm a master trainer. I was driving to a certification in Northern California. And I get a phone call from a 310 area code. And I assume it's my boss because that's their area code. Santa Monica, Beachbody Live has a floor at headquarters down there. And so I assume my boss is calling me and I'm on my way to a training. Like there's something I need to know about the upcoming event. And so I answer the phone and it's Keyshawn Graves. And she was a regional corporate sales team head at the time in our region on the West Coast. I know many of you are not West Coast. And so she was like, it was like 6 weeks until the year ended. And she was like, hey, Ellen, this is Keyshawn, and you're so close to being an elite coach. You just need one more diamond. And I didn't know who she was. I didn't really know what that meant. And I was like, oh, she's like, do you think you could get another diamond in 6 weeks? And I was like, no, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. And I don't know. It wasn't super profound to me at the time. My gosh, animals are going crazy. So I missed it. I missed Elite and I hit Premier. And then the next year I hit Elite. And I didn't know how to do it. So that's the main thing. That's the main thing I want to tell you. I'm still just introducing myself. But I didn't know how to hit it, but I hit it. And so now I know. Now I could break it all down for you. But the reason I think that that's really meaningful and applicable is because all I knew, I didn't know how to do Teamsy. I didn't have a huge social media network following. I didn't know how to organize my email in Streak. I didn't have cut and paste templates that I mail people. I didn't have a newsletter. I didn't have a blog. I didn't have my shit together. All I knew to do was run challenge groups every month, listen to that national wake-up call, whether I was in the mood or not, go to Super Saturdays, invite people to my challenges every month, try to encourage them and follow up with them if they fall off, try to encourage them and invite them to be a coach if they're successful. That's all I did, is try to hit Success Club every month because the company said to do it. So hitting Elite is that simple, which is going to bring me to the first point, which is to reduce to the basics. So if you're taking notes tonight, all of your action words and items and bullet points are going to start with the letter R. And the first one is reduce to the basics. Success is that simple. Please be encouraged by that. Once I became 5-star and they put me on the wall, I was like, I suck at this. I can't be a coach. I don't do all these things. All these coaches kind of like I don't know. I don't want to say, because I'm recording this and I'm going to put it on YouTube and I don't want to sound like a diva, but it seems like all these coaches are doing more than me and better than me. And they're showing it. Like, look at what I do, and look at what I do, and look at what my team's doing, and look at. And it intimidated me. It paralyzed me, and it kind of overwhelmed me. So I had to like kind of gin myself up to go look in that group every day, which I still do. I spend about an hour in that page every day trying to extrapolate the best stuff I can out for you guys. And so I just one day was like, just don't compare yourself. Just stop. I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to be a Melanie Mitro. I'm not wired to be that organized. I'm never going to be super crazy tech savvy and computer literate. I still struggle to unzip files. I mean, you know, yes, people have better graphics than me and come up with this and that, but if I get lost in that, I won't be successful. So reduce to the basics. Okay. The next point is, some of these points will be real quick and some of them will be a little long-winded. Reshape thoughts. And you know what? I'm going to put these 2 points together for the sake of time, points 2 and 3. Point 2 is reshape your thoughts, and point 3 is refine your inner circle. They kind of are going to go hand in hand, but as far as reshaping thoughts, our thoughts are something that we can kind of control. I mean, every once in a while a thought pops into my head and I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? Or I'll find myself thinking about something that I'm like, I should be thinking about something else. So, but on the same token, I can control my thoughts to a large degree. Like often I'm trying to memorize choreography. So like one thing I do sometimes at night is think through what I'm going to do in the morning. So I'll actually can go through an entire sequence of movements just in my head for like a PIO, for example. And I'll try to do that at night, so that my brain can kind of be working on it while I sleep. In the morning, I try to pray and focus or meditate or whatever you want to call it. I often am like thinking of you guys and praying for you guys and our businesses, and that we're blessed. And I try to control my thought life in the morning before I just hop on my phone and get distracted by everything. And so one of the things as far as my thoughts are, I kind of have just the business opportunity and the coaching business, the opportunity to get in better shape with our programs on. I think of it in all situations. So if I have a conversation with the parking lot tenant when I'm leaving the parking garage after I teach, I'm thinking about developing a relationship with her and maybe helping her someday. She is overweight, and I see her, well, now I only see her once a week, but it's something. So if I'm in a conversation or if I'm talking whomever, wherever the setting is, I have Beachbody kind of on my mind. And that's something that I've chosen and just made practice. I've reshaped my thoughts. I consider Success Club my job. I don't really let myself reward myself with other things until I've done everything I can each day towards achieving Success Club. In fact, there was something I wanted to do today. I can't remember what it is right now. There's something I wanted to do today, and I like play a little mind game with myself kind of, and I'm like, I can do that once I've done this, some stuff for the business. And so I do that a lot. I reward myself when I catch myself wanting to do something. I'm like, even if it's like have a cup of coffee and a like RX bar, that's like a reward. I'm like, yeah, I really want that. So thank you, Dana. That's like say I want a cup of coffee and a RX bar in the afternoon. I'll be like, okay, once I reach out to 2 new people, I give myself that little reward. Okay, I don't mean to spend so long on that. That doesn't really fit that topic. I'll try to touch on that later. Refine your inner circle. So just a low tolerance for people that make excuses. Nick hopped on this call, so he heard me say this when I was on the call with Allie's team. But when I hear someone making excuses to me, I'm not kidding. I emotionally backpedal faster than anyone you've ever. I don't backpedal. I like turn and sprint. It's not a good sign because I think about this a lot. I'm sure many of you have. Everyone is identically busy. Every single one of us. Melissa, Dana, Lexi, Kristen, Angela, Nick, Heather, all of you guys, me, and someone that sits around watching soap operas, eating bonbons, taking naps all day, we're all the same amount of busy. We all choose to prioritize what we want to be doing most with our 24 equal hours that we all equally have every single day. So when someone tells me that they're too busy, it simply means to me they don't care enough. And so I tend to kind of want to run from the hills and not invest my time into a coach that says that to me. Now, I would have mad respect for them if they said, it's not as much of a priority to me as X, Y, and Z. And so I can maybe give it 20 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day or an hour on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that's it. Or whatever they say, I would rather hear it like that. And people also that just complain about their circumstances. It's something that I take those, no one in my inner circle does that. And so I think I want us all to kind of have that same, hopefully, shield about our inner circle and our influences, because we are all in this together and we want to attract people like us that aren't excuse makers. I mean, some of you guys knew some of the stuff that was going on with me last week when I led the team call or whatever. And Jake was like, I can't believe you led that team. I'm not someone that's going to make excuses. And I love that about who we are as a team. And I'd like to keep it that way. And so protecting our inner circle is the most important thing we can do for ourselves as leaders. And I was mentioning when I led Allie's team call that we rub off on each other so much. And I use Kristen as an example, and I use my husband as an example. I was in bed with my husband the other night, and we were talking and laughing and talking and stuff. And one of us said a word. I can't remember which one of us, because this happens all the time. It was like an interesting word. And then the other one said it kind of accidentally later, because we just rub off on each other. I can't even remember which one of us did it. Doesn't matter. He and I have done that to each other 5 million times, where we just start to sound the same. We just start to use the same words and with the same inflection. And similarly, I was voxing with Kristen right before I led this call for Allie's team. And I was listening to her on the Vox, and I was like, we sound the same. We sound the same. And it's just because we like one another, and we're influenced by one another, and we start to sound the same and have the same tics and mannerisms. And so that's what happens with people that are in your inner circle. We talk like them, we laugh like them, we intonate like them, we gesticulate like them, all of it. So guard that ferociously. Let me check the time. Okay, gotta hurry. Let's keep moving. We want to, we reduce to the basics. We reshape our thoughts and refine our inner circle, and then reset expectations. Something I really like to tell people, you guys have probably heard me say it before, but I've only made it to Success Club 11 months in a row, which means I've never been a Success Club All-Star or a Success Club Legend like Lindsay and Kara are. That means I hit gutter balls every once in a while. In fact, I've hit a gutter ball no fewer times than every 11 months. So in reset your expectations, allow yourself, disabuse yourself of this idea that you need to be perfect in this business. There is nothing that I do perfect in this business. Not one thing. I am not a perfect recruiter. I am not a perfect upline. I am not a perfect mentor. I don't onboard perfectly. Sometimes my customer leads fall right through the cracks and I forget to reach out. I mean, you name it. There's nothing I do perfectly in this business. So it doesn't take perfection to hit elite, to make a six-figure income. So let's see. This was you guys haven't heard me say this before. So there's this friend of mine, his name's Matthew, and he's 25, and he's autistic and on the spectrum, I guess is the way you say that. And he's a good friend of mine, and he takes my classes. He takes Cycle and P90X, and he's a cool dude. And there's no filter there's no filter, and he's 100% literal. So the way we talk, like in slang and just little euphemisms and stuff, if we're not talking in a literal language, he doesn't understand it. And so he thought that he thought my life was perfect. He thought my life was perfect because we're friends on Facebook. And because Facebook sees the side of me that is still me, but it's definitely the best foot forward version of me plus a filter. and it's none of the stuff that it's not that I'm a migraine sufferer or that, oh crap, what am I going to do? I have to move in 60 days, or it's not that. It's just my best foot forward. And so, that's just what he thinks of me. And he sees me once a week for 2 classes. And so it's funny because that's what I think when I look at some of the top coaches. I'm like, they're perfect. They must do this business perfect. And it can't be true. It's not true. It's not true. And so allow yourself to have gutter balls. Allow yourself to have challenge groups that just suck. They just do sometimes. And because if we don't, and we're not gracious on ourselves like that, we're gonna implode. Okay, so revisit results is point number 5. Back to expectations. Sorry about that, you guys. About not having to be perfect. Just again, I didn't have a college degree. I didn't understand Facebook. I don't have a background in business. Any single style of person can do this business well. Any of you, any of us can, as long as we have that common denominator of hard work and sticking to the basics. It doesn't matter. If you're highly organized in type A, that's great. That'll take you really far in a certain way. And if you're not, that's great too. And that'll work for you. So different wheelhouses, as long as the common denominator is the basics and hard work. Okay, so point number 5 is revisit results. It's a really big business booster to have a transformation. And lucky for us, not really lucky, but a little bit. It's a silver lining about the fact that being healthy and fit is really hard to do, that it is truly an uphill battle for almost all of us, unless someone is just genetically blessed with a crazy metabolism and doesn't have to work for it. Being fit is incredibly uphill. And so that allows us to keep working on our own transformation and our own journey, even if we're just needing to maintain where we're at. And so revisiting results, making sure that you guys are sharing transformations, physical transformations that you're having with our products. And I hope you guys took a note of just today, Jen Elliott completing the ultimate reset. That's it's incredible. we've never had more people go through that program than in 2016, and then going into already 2017, there's a couple. Okay, so next point, refocus lens. So have you guys heard me talk about my daughter's cataracts? I don't think so. Uh-oh. You guys are all frozen. Can you see me? Can someone chat bar me that you can hear me at least? Can you guys hear me?
But
wait, Nick, yes, you can hear me? Okay, Kristen.
Never heard you tell that story, I don't think.
Okay, good. Okay, so when my daughter was born, in the hospital, they like barely opened their eyes at all. And when she did, I saw something inside her eyes, and it was weird. It was like a couple of little white dots, and there were other white things in her eyes, white reflections from the light overhead. So when her eyes would move a little bit, the reflections were stationary. So the reflected light from the ceiling, no matter where her eyeball looked, that light stayed the same. But these other white little dots that I saw moved with her eyes, both of them, both eyes. And I showed the pediatrician at the hospital, and they were like, I don't know what that is. I don't know. You should take her to an eye doctor. So we went to the Casey Eye Institute in Portland, because that was like we went to her local pediatrician here, and that pediatrician was like, I don't know what they are. I don't know what those white dots on her eyes are. So we went to the Casey Eye Institute. Come to find out, they are, because she still has them, they are anterior polar congenital, so she's born with cataracts, little tiny cataracts on the outside, the anterior, the front surface of the lens. So when like people get cataracts or dogs get cataracts and they're all milky and cloudy looking, it's because it's in the fluid in the lens. So these cataracts were just like little cataracts stuck to the outside of the lens. They were less than 3 millimeters in circumference, so they're considered visually insignificant, meaning her eye would be able to adapt around the cataract. And so we talked a lot. I talked a lot to this doctor, like, well, what do you mean she has cataracts? And how is she going to function with cataracts? And you mean she's going to see them, but they're going to be visually insignificant? What do you mean? And he's like, put your fingers out in front of your face. Sorry, my cat's walking on the keyboard. Put your fingers out. And he's like, see how you can see your fingers and they're in the way and they block your view a little bit. And he's like, but if you sit there long enough, because you have two eyes and there's light refracting into the eyeball and around the lens, the retina, your eye can actually see through. It's like you get double vision. It looks like you're looking at two sets of fingers instead of one. It looks like there's two of them, and you can look through. You can look past. And your eyeball can actually still and your brain can actually still figure out the rest of what's going on, even though there's this spot in the way. And he's like, that's how she'll see her whole life. And I'm like, well, isn't that horrible? And he's like, no, she's born with it. She'll never know the difference. The eye will adapt around it. It'll be the way she grows up seeing, and she'll see fine. She'll just have her eyes and brain will always have to go through and around and look past. And I just thought that was really interesting. And it struck me as a good parallel for the business, because it's very easy when you've been working hard at this business for a year to look at the cataracts and not see past them and through them, or to have a team of 6, 7, 8 coaches and to have a cycle bonus that's only $14, $16, or $18 every week, because you don't yet have someone building a business of those coaches, that can be pretty daunting and discouraging and deflating unless you can see through and around and past it to the whole picture and what's ahead. And I know some of you really do. I know some of you do, because you get those small bonuses and you don't complain and you keep going, and you don't complain and you keep going. And then I also thought about how I get really, really, really motion sick. I'll wrap this up soon, you guys. I get really car sick, especially if I look inside the car, especially if I look at my phone. The remedy for that, for me, is, and for you guys if you relate, is to look on the horizon, to look far away, to look at the things that aren't moving very much, that are fixed, like a mountain or a skyline. But if I look in the car, if I look at my phone, if I look at the outside of the road where the trees are like whizzing by, I'm like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be so sick. And so again, that's what the business is like when you look at the short-sighted, short-term stuff. It can make you motion sick. It can make you discouraged. And yet, if you can fix your eyes on the further away thing, you won't be. And so it takes a belief that you can have your goals, whether they be financial, physical, or just helping other people, or all of the above, or some of the above, whatever your goals are, belief that you'll have them. And then the patience to freaking wait, because it's gonna take a few years to build, especially if you're looking for 6-figure kinds of income. It's gonna take 4 years or 3 or 5. It's going to. And it's gonna take finding the right people, and they don't grow on trees. It's gonna take finding the right people and having people in your life, people on your team find the right people. So that was point number 6, is refocus your lens. And then point number 7 is, it's kind of redundant on point number 1. I could probably put those together. Redo core activities. So that would be challenge groups, live events, summit, Super Saturday, power hours. Redo those core activities. I guess that really does loop into point number 1, which is reduce to the basics, but it's a little bit more different, a little more towards live events. It's that little steady foot on the gas. I'd rather see you guys with a little tiny steady foot on the gas than to pushing it hard and letting it up, and pushing it hard and letting it up, and pushing it hard and letting it up. Those coaches that do that don't do as well. The ones that sprint for a season and take a season off, and sprint for a season and take a season off. People see that, and you lose credibility in your social media platforms. So better to do a little steady bit of pressure on that gas pedal. Okay. Regenerate. And this would go more towards, well, I guess a little bit to all of you, but I was thinking of some of our leaders when I came up with that point. But to all of you, I love the idea, and I'm not your boss, but I love the idea, so you don't have to do what I say. But I love the idea of you guys taking Sundays off. I mean, I do a couple things on Sunday, like I'll post the little graphic of the National Wake Up Call. Maybe look in the challenge group, but Sunday is definitely a day that I don't expect myself to do anything with the business. And I expect a lot of myself the other 6 days of the week. So I like that. I think there's wisdom in that. And I would encourage you to consider adopting it as just having a day off to regenerate and rejuvenate yourself. Muscles literally have to recover to resynthesize ATP, adenosine triphosphate. It's an energy system. They have to. You've got to give them a break, or they're going to fail. And we're like that too. The business is no different. Sorry to be all like churchy on you tonight for the 18th time. I'm usually am not like that, but like even God rested when he created the earth. So we need to take a day off. We got to take a day off. I hope you do. I hope you rejuvenate. The other thing on that line is for the leaders. When you're pouring a lot of time into coaches and it's been more than 3 months, I would say save yourself. By then, they know where to find you. They know how to call Coach Relations. They know how to access their FAQs. They've been invited by you and certainly by me as well to do trainings. If they're not going anywhere and they're asking for energy from you and at your time after 90 days, I don't give it to people anymore unless they've kind of earned that and they're adding to like I'm just looking at the people that are on this call tonight. You guys are people that add and don't subtract from energy. But sometimes we enroll coaches that after 90 days is a good amount of time. You've been invited to 3 new coach trainings in 90 days. It's a good amount of time to know how and where to start and to have the help and support you need. So leaders, if you find yourself in relationships with coaches that after 90 days are asking for time and energy but aren't doing the basics, that not doing the vitals, I say save yourself. It's something that I've done it's something I've done since becoming an elite coach, because you have to. It goes back to those, you have your inner circle and then you've got a broader circle that are people that add to your energy. So let me quickly recap. Point number 1, keep it simple, reduce to the basics. It's work out, drink your shake, do personal development, and encourage people in your life. Add to your network, those types of things. Number 2, reshape your thoughts. Success Club is your job, and that, don't feel bad about that. That means you're helping people. And refine your inner circle. You're going to be talking like, sounding like, laughing like, moving like, earning money like those people. Who do you want them to be? And reset your expectations. Just forget about this notion of trying to be perfect. Every once in a while, you're going to throw a gutter ball. You're going to throw a gutter ball. You're going to lead a lame challenge group, and you're going to miss Success Club. It's okay. It's part of this process. And we see all the leaders looking so perfect. They're not. So then revisit results. If it's been a while since you could put up a before and after picture, if it's been a while, that's your homework. We have to be doing that. Life makes it hard enough to stay fit that we should all be able to do that on an ongoing basis. Refocus your lens on things that don't make you seasick in the business and that give you clarity and that don't give you that don't discourage and defeat you. Redo the core activities and particularly your live events. I know those can be a challenge to budget for, so budget wisely for them. They can be hard. They can be hard to fly to New Orleans or whatever. So get a penny jar now or sell something on eBay. And then regenerate, save yourself, resynthesize, take Sundays off. And all those other points will lead into that. If you're doing all those other points, you'll find a resynthesized energy, just by refining your inner circle and stuff like that. So those are my action items for the letter R. I hope there was something in that for you and that it wasn't terribly too redundant and things you've already heard me say before 100 times. Some of them might have been, but that is what I prepared for Allie's call. So I thought Nick thought it was good. He's like, you should do this again. So I was like, all right, Nick would be square with me. So it's been 45 minutes. Why don't we open it up for 5 minutes or so of questions or comments or anything. You can talk about Team Cup. You can talk about whatever you want. Aha, thank you, Felder. Thank you. Okay, Melissa's on her phone now. Bye. She's actually on her phone. She's the 503 number. All right. Kristen, are you in Lapine? Thanks.
Got home last night.
Oh. Thanks, Dana. Did you guys see Nick's calendar for his team cup?
I totally love it, actually. I saw it.
Thank you.
Nick, will you talk about it? Because Lexi and Heather are not in our team page since they're on CJ's team. Can you explain what you did?
Yeah, I can pull it up real quick so I know what I'm talking about. But basically, I took that post that you put in the team page. I don't remember who posted it. Do you remember off the top of your head?
Alexis Whalen. Alexis Whalen.
Yeah, I think that was it. But she just had, it was very motivating, and then I just took like the bits and broke it down into what the things that I got out of it as far as what was important to focus on during Team Cup, and I tried to calendar. So we have like a live power hour once a week where people can get on and just work together and ask questions, and then hit club or trying to hit success, like 3 more points in success club every 5 days. So by the 25th day, we all have 15 points. That's kind of the goal. We might not get there, but that's what I have on the calendar to try and shoot for. And then I just have like little reminders of daily activities to do on the calendar as well. So nothing fancy, but if anybody wants it, they can have it. I just made it in a Word document so you can edit it however you want it.
So you guys are going to do power hours together weekly?
Yeah, and I just made time. I hadn't even talked to my team yet, but that was one of the things that she put in, was that she was going to have 3 opportunities for live power hours. So I thought it'd be cool to put on. I don't think that time's going to work for everybody. So once I do find a time, I'll readjust the calendar. But the only reason I put that in was because it was right after our mastermind calls on Thursdays. So we could just go in straight from that and straight into power hours.
Or
everybody, so I'll have to figure something else out.
We could also just make our February masterminds power hours.
That's fine.
I don't know. Something to think about. Well, is that a wrap?
Ellen, do you have a sec? I just want to ask you something.
I do. Let me end the recording.
Do you have along your okay.
Wait, what?
Along your journey, where you are in the beginning, you were saying like you didn't have a lot of like mentoring. I definitely feel like I got a lot of mentoring from you. Kind of felt like you were left out to dry. Was there any that you just kind of like took off running, but was there any point in time, especially in the beginning, where I know you said you had a lot of self-doubt, but did you ever reach stumbling blocks where you felt like this wasn't going to work out for you, or did you not ever have those moments and you just kind of, you know what I mean? Like, did you ever just like panic, like, oh my gosh,
yes,
there's no way to make this happen?
Yes, that is such a good question. So the answer is a resounding yes. I have had that. However, I've never, I can say this, like I would tell you guys the truth. I promise I would tell you the truth. I have never thought about quitting. I've never thought about quitting. But I've definitely had moments of panic. I've definitely had paralyzing self-doubt. Like, I don't have what it takes. I am not ever going to do this well. I'll never be, I never would have thought like I'm where I am. I never would have thought that. There were too much just crippling doubt. And especially when I see and look at the practices of some of these great coaches, that's why I'm really big on the message that you can do this anyway. Because the type A type coaches, that's great. And our top coach in the company is type A. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's not me. So I want the message. I'm assuming a lot of you are like me. And I mean, not all of you. So like Embers is good at organization and stuff. And Lindsay is. And, but some, yeah, like, yes, I have been, I've been crippled with, self-doubt, but I've never wanted to quit. And I've, yes. Yeah.
What do you think pushed you through?
Okay, so I just keep going. So that is something about me that I like about myself, is that I keep going no matter what. And I do notice sometimes coaches, when the going gets tough, they're like, wah, this isn't I'm not good at this. And they stop doing. I guess I have like the belief that I'm just going to keep going. It's that I'm going to keep going. 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 And so then the wins do come. And then I get the like belief again, I get the belief in myself again. Maybe I can do this. So I think the fact that I don't stop means those wins that will happen, those little wins. I mean, when people say they're like burned out, I've had a couple of really good coaches on our team tell me that they're a little bit burned out. And I'm like, and I felt some of that too myself, but I think about them a lot, and I'm like, what they really need is some wins. They need some, like a good Success Club month, or, a great coach to really need a win. So I think because I keep going when I'm feeling paralyzed instead of actually being paralyzed, I think that those wins come and it picks me back up. Before you guys go, I want to tell you something about Anne. And I mean, I don't even know. This could be a whole team in and of itself. But I want you guys to know that, and she and I have talked a lot about this week over Voxer. This is amazing. She found me on YouTube. She's the only coach I have right now, or ever, that was a total stranger that found me on YouTube. And guess what? When she found me on YouTube and she reached out to me on YouTube, I responded. And guess what? I found out that she was a cancer survivor, and she was like an incredible person. I found that out about her because we started communicating. And I, of course, was thinking of the business. Of course I was. I was thinking, coach. And the more I got to see what she was like, the more I was like, oh my gosh, this would suit her so well. She like owned a gym at the time even. And it wasn't the right time. And like our relationship never ended. And it's been 4 years. It took me 4 years. We met on YouTube and it took 4 years. So you guys, just continuing so much of the fruit of your labor comes later. So much of what you do now, you have no idea. It's a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now in Anne's case. So, yeah. And what if, like we talked about Nick, like what if I didn't respond? What if I didn't reply to that customer lead? Like with Anne, had I not responded to her YouTube comment, I wouldn't have her. And she's a big deal on our team right now. She's a big deal. So
Well, I don't think so, but thank you.
That garden. And like, honestly, like if I would have pushed her hard and I sensed it, I totally sensed this, it wouldn't have worked. I had to let go and be like, well, maybe someday. Every time I see her on Facebook, I'm like, oh, that chick, she'd be such a great coach. Oh, well, maybe someday. So the longer we do it, the longer people watch us. And I was telling, it looks like Jennifer Ayers is gone. Is she gone? No, she's still on. I was talking to her today. And I was saying people that have been around in my life for a while on social media, it's very predictable that every single month I run a new challenge group. So people that are on my Facebook, they know, even if they've never joined me, I do believe that they know any month that they want, any month that they're ready, if they reach out to me, they'll know I'm offering something that month in terms of some type of a fitness challenge. And so I think longevity gives you a whole nother set of tools in your toolbox when you've been coaching for a long time and you've been consistent. And some of you just need more months and more years and more consistency to notice that, how helpful that is. All right. I feel like I talked too much tonight. I feel like that a lot though. All right. Oh yes, Angela, great advice. Angela said, write down your why, and when you feel like quitting, revisit it. It's good. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.